well, it used to be, and they used to rely on the mountain to feed the people, but now the people are feeding the mountains back and nurturing this place. So today we are very glad to be joined by the vice county head. Hi everyone, I'm Yu Xiaoping. Could you brief us on how this place was like in the 1980s and 1990s? Well, I'd like to show you a picture of the county in the past years. These pictures was taken by myself in person. This place used to be a minor place. People explore the mines and from this county. And as a result, the environment was very unpleasant. And the environment was polluted. So there was a need to make a transfer. So under the leadership centered by President Xi Jinping, we launched a new initiative to change this place, to change the ecology of this place, because President Xi said once that lush mountains and lucid waters are invaluable assets. So we followed this path of green development, and we have achieved some remarkable results. So why not let's take a ride and experience how this place has changed. Well, you have mentioned that this village of Anji County used to rely on the development of the mines, but now it has changed to a new place. So could you tell us what people are doing nowadays in this village? Now, this place have attracted a lot of tourists, so it has become a hot spot, very hot scenic spot. And we have people here have opened up new hotels to accommodate the tourists, and these have changed their lives. So how much is the annual income from tourism last year? Well, it's like 2 million, over 2 million RMB last year. Well, I can see that these have really created a better life for the local people. So what about other new changes to this place? Well, we have seen a better ecology, better environment. People come here for picking the fruits and taking the rifting challenges. And we have been developing the green industry. It is fair to say that the people have benefited from the tourism, and the people's income have been improved in a virtuous sense. I have noticed that there have been some intelligent equipment application in this place. Could you tell us how it works? Well, apart from this equipment, we have a lot of facilities applied here. For example, this equipment applies the sensing technology. When you touch it, it can open automatically. So, how is the change to the surface of this city, of this village? Well, many tourists and also even the local villagers have come here to take exercises, for example, running and bicycling. So this road has become a typical route for taking the tour around the village. So how did you take this idea of this development? Well, we are keen to keep the village as it was in its original form. So we have planted some vegetables and crops. In summer season, we plant the rice. So this village retains the function of a greenery house. And people, if you come here, you can also see the flowery season and the lotus flower together with the rice paddy. So it's quite a picturesque village scenery. And it boasts an ideal destination for the tourists. We also developed a new energy and new technologies in this village, and these are very important for the future development of this village. Well, today I think the temperature is not high, and it feels the cool breeze can make you very comfortable. I also see a whole lake of lotus flowers. Yes, they are in their flowery season. This is a pond filled with lotus flowers. We have provided a diversified range of flower seeds. I can see a lot of tourists are walking around. So how many tourists do you have per day? Well, every day we have 3,000 and to 10,000 people, tourists coming here. So every year around 1.2 million people. I can feel that the tourists are really want to come here and to feel the mountains and the rivers. Well, I have noticed in front of us there is a very special architecture, a rooftop. So could you brief us what the background about this architecture? Well, it is a masterpiece from the architecture competition. It is made of bamboo. And after it is done, after the construction was completed, this place was became a tourist store. You can find all kinds of bamboo products here for daily use. And they are recyclable. And they can also be naturally disposed. So they're very popular among our tourists. And nowadays, people the awareness of our people on environmental protection have been greatly improved. So it is a very nice place to go for the tourists. Check this bag. It's also made of bamboo. I believe the young people love it. It will be a good choice for the young people. So we have spent a lot of efforts in preserving the environment in this village, and we are in full swing across the board. So what kind of daily activities do you have in this village for the villagers? Well, we have some public space. For example, in front of us, the villagers, the young people, and the newlywed, we can also set up the wedding place for the newlyweds. If you want to throw up any event or a gathering, this is the best place to go. In front of us, there seems to be a high-speed rail train. Well, actually, it is a tourist store. People come here to sell their agricultural products. I also see some model bicycles. Well, these are for the children to experience and take some exercise. So along the road, we can also see some original side of this village. For example, in front of us, there is a brick wall. It used to be a factory. So as a tourist, if you come here, you can feel the old side, this historical side of this village. And this house used to be the factory of the cement factory. It used to be a cement factory, but now it has become part of the scenery of the tourist attraction. And there, in front of us, there is a glass and a wall, a house with a large amount of glass wall. Make up guess what it used to be. It used to be a warehouse, and now it has been turned into a pub. So it has become a very popular destination for the pub lovers. Not only for the tourists, but also for the villagers. You must feel like a go and feel like a try and take a shot in the pub. So here you can do many things like go party and throw up a concert. So more and more activities are taking place in this village. So through our conversation, I can learn that not only this place has enjoyed a better ecology, but people's life is really getting better. And people's cultural life is getting better. Like you can now get some drink and take a chat with your friends and families. So I believe this is also an important part and also a successful story of the green development. Well, in front of us, you can see more historical side of this village. A lot of old houses, and we have also set up some zero carbon buildings to demonstrate the idea that we follow green development. Well, thank you, Mr. Yu, for sharing this information. And now we are very glad to be joined by another guest. Hi, everyone. I'm Zhou Haizhu. I'm from the Rural Urban Development Institute of China Architectural Academy. Well, in front of us, you can see a special building. And in front of the building, there are three tree-like buildings. So they are low-carbon buildings. In the daytime, they are what you see now, but at night, the lights will be on and will be and it will make a scene. So it is made of PV cells. We have set up PV panels inside these buildings. So we can monitor the environmental indexes of this village. So the three light trees, represent three environmental indexes. So the energy consumption index and low carbon index and a green index can be represented through these three buildings. And this house is also very special given its surface. It has hold significance in terms of green development. So Mr. Zhou, what's so special about it? Well, at the first impression, you will find it very special. You can never neglect this architecture at the first glance. Actually, it is a library. It is for the villagers, for the people to come to read and to entertain themselves. And the young people can also come here to spark up new ideas for starting up new businesses. Well, this panel is also special. It looks dark. It looks like a tile. Well, it has applied a kind of sophisticated technology and integrated the comprehensive design with the PV panels. So the energy consumption, the energy supply here far exceeds the energy consumption. So the energy surplus is stored here. So this place is like a warehouse for storing the energy surplus. So it can be called a zero carbon building. It is a carbon neutrality building. So the carbon emission and the carbon production here can be mitigated. That's why it's called a zero carbon building. So online viewers, you can see that this place has demonstrated a great example of green development in China, but a lot more stories are also taking place in many other parts of China. Next station is Jiangsu province. Dear online viewers, I'm Yingyue from CGTN. Now let's go on a tour to one of the core areas of the World Cultural Heritage Site. Well, this place is Yancheng, city of Jiangsu province. Well, this place has many kinds of birds. It is the best home for the migratory birds. And in front of us, you can see the wetlands, the lakes. And this whole area is called the Tiaozini Scenic Spot. And I'm happy to be joined by a local expert. Hi, everyone. My name is Li Dongming. I'm the Vice President of the Yancheng City Birds Observation Association. Well, Mr. Li has worked in this place for many years. He's a senior expert in birds observation. So could you give some information about this place? Well, in front of us, this place is called 720. Why is the number? Because this area It has 720 acres of space. And it is a natural habitat for the migratory birds. And the local government has spent a lot of efforts in turning this place into a natural reserve. Thousands of birds fly here to habitat, to take a rest. So this is the habitat of the birds. So why is Tiaozhini Scenic Spot the home of the migratory birds? That's because this place has a large space and also, especially, it has a large area of mud flat. Well, several days ago, we have carried out an investigation into this place. Given its broad area, we have found a lot of species of the birds, which has hit the record high. Well, this place have attracted around 183,000 species of migratory birds. So can you give us some names of the birds? What kind of migratory birds can we see here? Now autumn is coming, and it will become the season for the migratory birds to rest. And this is a stopover for the migratory birds. So it's a time for the birds to take a rest and make an adjustment. And take some supply. They will stay here for over 3 days, 40 days, and even longer as 90 days. Today I have brought with me a telescope. So with the telescope, you can watch more clearly the birds. And in front of you, you can see a ditch. So this has been specially arranged by the government. And these telescopes are also provided by the local government for the bird lovers. Can you show me Can you tell me what kind of species do we have? Oh, you can find the white one, and you can find others with a red tail. So they are all resting here. Not only the birds, the ducks can also be found here. Well, the ducks come here from autumn and they stay here for the whole winter. After the winter, they move to the south of China. Here we have the migratory birds with black mouth, with red mouth. And this year, the number of species has hit a new record. Because we have set up a new mud flat that covers 20,000 mu of area. We also have parrots. In front of us, far away, you can see a lot of birds flying in the sky, and some other birds are resting and take a leisure time, enjoying their leisure time in the mudflat. Well, the black-mouthed migratory bird can be found not only here but also in the Yingkou city of Shandong province. So this year we have restored 20,000 mu of land to the mudflat. So if you get a new wetland, the more birds will come. If they come, it means the wetland meets certain requirements. So this wetland has provided a better ecology for the migratory birds. I heard there is a specimen library. Can we take a tour to this library? And the specimen rooms not only provides coffee, but also can serve as a place for people to talk and to take a rest and to find some new ideas. Do we have many people every day? Yes, each day we have tourists, we have local people. Even during the summer break, we have kids coming. And this is a good place for the kids to do science education for the kids. In this specimen room, you find a lot of specimens of the birds. As you can see, ducks, migratory birds. Not only the specimen is vivid, but also the wet land. It looks like a whole family of the migratory birds. Which is the favorite for the tourists? Well, in the eyes of the bird lovers, all birds are lovely and cute. We love all of them. But look at this cute one. It is an endangered species, only a few hundreds across the whole world. We have talked with the scientists from other countries about this species. This bird feeds on the seafood, small seafood and small fish after the tide is over. And other birds feed on the plants on the surface of the wetland. And the black-mouthed migratory bird is in its largest number. this species outnumbers the white feather migratory bird. So I can see that in your eyes you have been very familiar with these birds. So this wetland is for simulation purpose, and you can see the sand and the seafood that becomes the food of these birds. So you can see it has formed a food chain on the wetland. Each migratory bird feeds on a different kind of seafood. And that depends on the size of the mouth of the bird. If the bird has a long mouth, it can feed and it can squeeze deep into the sand and get some different kind of seafood. So the wetland has provided a rich variety of seafood for the migratory birds. For the short-mouthed birds, they can only feed on some seafood on the surface of the wetland. Even some butterflies that accidentally fall onto the wetland. And some food and some biofood that cannot be easily told by the naked eyes. I heard that you also collect the manure of the birds. So why is that? Because there are all kinds of ingredients in the manure that can be studied. By studying their manure, we can tell the food structure of the bird. So the food structure is a result of the fall of the tide or of their natural habitat? Well, it depends. Some birds feed on the small crabs on the surface of the wetlands, and some feed on the seafood that is buried deeper into the wetland. So the seafood can be found at different levels of the wetland according to the rise and the fall of the tide. So this wetland has taken a special shape according to the function of the wind and the rise and the fall of the tide. You can see the attraction of this wetland by the number of the migratory birds. So I hope that if you have a chance, come here and visit this place and see for your own eyes the biodiversity in this local area. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now. Dear online viewers, my name is Li Yiqi. I'm from CGTN. Now I am in Yuntanshan Mountain of Guizhou province. You can see the mountains after mountains behind me, which has a history of hundreds of millions of years. And today, there is an educational campaign among the kids going on in this place. And I'm happy to be joined by a local president of. Would you say hi to the online viewers? Hi everyone, good morning.
好的，谢谢冉老师。那么据我了解啊，这个云台山不仅是风景非常的奇绝，而且这里也被称为植物宝盆、动物保护。
It is also a good place for preserving the animal and plant biodiversity. First of all, I'd like to show you a small video clip. So, would you like to first give us a few sentences about this place? How many scenic spots that are worthy of a visit? Well, Yuntaishan Mountain is listed into a world natural heritage site. The mountains can be viewed at different perspectives. It is made of, the mountain is made of special stone, limestone. And you can see the mountains erect up into the sky, shrouded in a mist. And on the surface of the mountains, it is embedded with it is coated with forests. A rich diversity of the plants and the forests have covered the surface of the mountains. So the biodiversity here is very peculiar. So is the water biodiversity. So, in this place, you not only get a view of how magnificent the mountain is, but have some knowledge about the biodiversity here. That's why we like to throw up an educational campaign for the kids. Well, I was told by him that as the biodiversity enriches as the mountain moves up. Every 10 meters higher into the mountain, you can find even richer diversity, even richer biodiversity. Speaking of the animals, the plants. So why is that? Well, you know, for the mountains that is high enough, every 100 meters upper into the sky, the temperature will be lower by 0.6 degrees Celsius. But the Yuntanshan mountain is not that high. It is only a few hundred meters high. In this sense, the biodiversity will not change much every 10 meters. But this place is very special. The biodiversity is very rich. Every 10 meters changes much every 10 meters for these mountains. The difference is made by the limestone because it absorbs water. So when there is a rainfall, the water is absorbed by this limestone, and also the water will become the underground water, it's very hard for the surface of the road to retain water, mainly due to the limestone. That's why that accounts for the rich biodiversity of this mountain and the different adaptability of this biodiversity. Well, thank you for the valuable information. Indeed, here you can find all kinds of insects, animals, and plants. What a biodiversity. So let's take a walk and see what kind of discovery we have. So, as we said, the biodiversity here is closely linked to the geographical situation. So we can find the answers along the tour. Let's join the kids in their educational class and to get the answers. Well, these answers cannot be easily found in in a classroom. Only here you can get the answers. Well, the kids seem to have a geographical lesson. The teacher is teaching on the diversity of the stones, the chemical nature and the physical nature of these stones. So each kid has a box of stones, different kinds of stones. Well, you have limestone, you have granite. So the teacher is also doing an experiment on the stone. This is the limestone. And the experiment is melting it with alkaline. Now we are applying the same liquids to these two kinds of stones, and you can see the limestone, the dark one, is melting. And the white one, the white rock, is giving up some bubbles. Why is that? Because they are of different kinds of stones. So what are they trying to prove? Well, the teacher is trying to prove that the solubility of the rocks, the limestone, which is made of carbonic acid, can resolve under the application of this special liquid. A lot of bubbles were released. If you heat up the acid, the bubbles will show up. So the teacher was trying to give some knowledge on how these mountains have formed. Could you give us a specimen of the dolomite? The white rock is called dolomite. It's exactly what the mountain is formed of. I'm trying to tell the difference of the dolomite and limestone. The limestone, with the application of the acid, will give the bubbles, but the dolomite does not. So you can see horizontally the mountain. You can also see some vertical far side of the mountains. That is formed with the application of the rainfall. So the shape of the mountains is given by the rainfall. So that is how the mountain has become so special and beautiful. Well, the teacher just told me the difference of the dolomite and the limestone. Dolomite is not soluble to water. That's why the shape is formed of the mountain. If the mountain is made of limestone, then you can find all kinds of holes. But for the dolomite, you cannot easily find any holes. So the mountains, the shape of the mountains is due to the function of the chemical and physical process. So after 200 million years, the mountains have formed and provided its shape as today. But if you count on another 100 million years, it will give a different shape. So if we tell by the age of the mountains, 1 year is so short. Different kinds of ecology will give birth to different biodiversity. So these plants can be easily found on the karst geographical area. So how different are they? If you take one leaf, it has small leaf, and they are quite short. They're not tall at all. They cannot grow too big. Actually, these trees have been here for decades. Firstly, because there is not much rainfall. Another is that it is not based in soil. So the lack of soil fertility is another reason for its shortness. So the size of the leaf is for adjusting the water loss. So when the environment is not friendly, the leaf can close by themselves to close the water. And they can choose to open up when the water is enough and the environment is more friendly. So but anyway, it has a strong vitality and longevity. Despite it grows very slowly. Well, speaking of its strong vitality, I know that the soil on the surface of the karst rocks is very weak. So how can the trees grow up? Well, our trees can adapt easily to the local environment when the water amount is small and the soil fertility is low. Actually, they can even adapt better than the regular trees. And in the rock, if they grow up in a hole of the rock, they can easily crawl to other places. And they can emit some organic acid and go deeper into the inner side of the rock, to the very core of the rock. So we have been doing some experiments, and we found that the roots of the trees have been located very deep into the center of the rock. So in this place, it's so common that you can not tell where the roots of the trees are. I can also see one tree has its root past the rock. If there is no soil in the rock, the trees can also survive. Here we have another crowd of students taking lessons. They are doing some experiment with the plants. It's a wild species. A wild species. So this species is a herb. So the students are taking some herbal species to make a specimen. It is also edible. Hi, teacher, can you tell us how many steps do you have to make a specimen? First, you take up a wooden plate, and the second, you apply a thin layer, a thin copy of paper. And third, you put the plant on the surface of the paper and to squeeze its water out and make sure the water evaporates. And after you make sure that the specimen is dried up, can you preserve it? So can you tell us what have you been doing for these days? We have been discovering some herbal plants and wooden plants.
我觉得我很久没上生物课的人都已经模糊这个概念了，孩子们确实学到了很多的。
The kids are amazing because they can already tell the difference of the herbal species and the woody species. Well, I like the wildflowers because they are not only pleasant to the eyes, they also have herbal effects. Well, I have seen all kinds of plants and plants in the forest. So let's not disturb them. Let's go on with our tour. You can see the students are really attentive in their experiments and class. And it's not easy for the kids to go outside of the cities and embrace the natural environment. Personally and emotionally, we also hope that people have more chances to interact with the ecology. So the kids are making animal specimen. There is a demonstration board for demonstrating the specimen.
来，我们跟着镜头来看看，这边有非常多的昆虫的标本。
And there are 2 insects that are still alive. What else do we get?
Wow. 这个是什么？哇，这个
What is this?
它的那个足
It has a lot of feet.
密密麻麻的，我们能看清楚吗？
Can online viewers see clearly what this is?
你看，原来好每，它叫贝足类，贝足类就是每一个位置有2对足。
这也是这边山林中。
This insect is very common in the mountain area. It has a lot of feet.
我看老师这儿拿了一只昆虫。
Let's see. This pupil has
老师，这是什么昆虫啊？
captured an insect. The body is very soft. Well, the first step is to inject some alcohol into the body of this insect to make sure that it will not erode after it becomes a specimen.
那其实啊，在这个
Before making the specimen of the animals, I also asked the teachers how to better capture the insects. Do you need any special tools? Well, totally no need. Just walk into the mountains and insects will come. So, Mr. Ran, could you brief our online viewers how to look for the insects? Well, if you simply walk into the mountain areas, the insects will come to you. Some animals or insects avoid people, but some would come to the people. So, first step, you need to be good at observation. You need to have a sharp eye. For example, this broadleaf butterfly, because of its color, is so close to the forests, you need to have sharp eyes to look for it. And second, you should be good at listening. Some birds and insects make sounds. And for the people, sometimes people protect themselves from the insects by applying a kind of spray liquids. But for research purpose, it's very different. You wear a shield. You want the insects to come close. So there is a large variety of the insects here in the mountain area. The only thing you need to do is to have good observation and good listening. Top of that, you need to have a good heart. You need to love nature. To feel the nature itself is very important. And that is an important step to feel the inner self of the mountain, of the nature. And second, you need to be good at observation because the butterflies and the insects have special colors to protect themselves. For example, this insect looks like a flower. If you do not observe well, you can easily miss it. This area, by walking this area, you can see the natural ecology is very nice. And that is because the local government has put a lot of efforts in protecting this place. I heard that a lot of villagers cut the trees and burn them, and that created a lot of pollution and carbon emission. But later, things have changed. So what happened, Mr. Ran? As said, the trees here grow. It's not easy for these trees to grow tall, and it takes many years for them to grow. So they're very popular among the villagers. But if you cut them away, it takes many more years for them to grow up again. So these trees need to be preserved instead of being cut off. So we have been keen to introduce new tree species to improve the biodiversity here, so that the trees, the species can form an inner cycle among themselves. And now you can see, as far as you can see, it's all green. So it's all green now. The kids are doing animal monitoring with the help of the camera. They are applying the camera for monitoring the birds and animals. They are applying the infrared camera. For observing the animals, you can apply, use the cameras and the microscopes, and also the telescopes. But these are not enough to help you see them clearly. The infrared cameras are different. It gives no sound.
当这个动物靠近它了以后，它再打开，它再触发，然后照。
It can produce real pictures. So it is a modern toolkit for us to observe the animals and insects.
当时活动的那些情况，把它记录下来。当有一定大的这个密度了以后，这个我们就可以总结出来一套的这个。
So they're very helpful in the field observation. So, how do you choose the locations for observing the animals?
有些就是为了安红外线区，比如说我的按照公历网格，我就普遍的安。
Well, one method is to apply wherever you want, because you can randomly, based on randomness, you don't know what kind of animals or insects you will see through the camera.
频繁活动的地方，我们来安装这个红外线机。还有安装红外线机，它的对这个目标物种的要求也不一样。
Another method is to apply based on your target objective. For example, with this camera, if you apply it on the roots of the tree, you cannot see the things upper in the sky. So the infrared cameras are for special purpose for the observations. Actually, we have also prepared a very special video clips of the special species of the Yuntaishan mountain. So are there any special wild animals in this area? Well, if you're talking about the special species like the panda, it is not what you get here. But in this mountain, you can find a lot of interesting species. Some animals stay their whole life here and spend whole generations after generations here. For example, we have some monkeys that cannot be found elsewhere. We also have a special monkey that has a special tail. Also, the mandarin duck are also special. We have printed out some pictures of the special species here. Let's show to the audience. You can see this red bird has very nice feathers. And this monkey? And this deer is very special because its feather is vacuum. And this animal feeds on honey. This is a long-tailed bird that is peculiar to China. We also have black bear. This bird, the small. This bird is nicknamed the small owl. that cannot take the strong light. This animal usually stay inside the mountain holes, while the last type is the Mandarin duck.
好的，好的。那么今天啊，这个活动真的是非常的丰富多彩啊。那么那个到这里呢，我们的直播也
Well, we are approaching the very end of this live stream. What an experience today! I didn't imagine that we have so many surprises here. Each animal and plant has its own peculiar name and stories. So there are more to be discovered. If you have this true heart to embrace nature and to discover nature, you will find more. So today is the National Ecological Day. I hope more online viewers will walk into the mountains and embrace the ecology. So on this day, as I learned that you have been working on this field for many years, what do you have to say to the online viewers? Well, all I have to say is to respect nature and love nature, and you will make a difference. Well, thank you. So let's embrace the mountains more and make more visits to the mountains. So much on my part. Thank you. Dear online viewers, we are in Hainan. We're in the Red Forestry Natural Preserve. The mangrove forests are located in the tropical and subtropical areas. So what kind of roles do they play in preserving the oceanic area, and what efforts have been put into the preservation? We are happy to be joined by the local engineer Feng Ranhui. He will give us more information about the mangrove. Hi everyone, I'm a forestry engineer Feng Erhui from the local preservation area. Now that our tour starts on the water, behind us is a mangrove forest. I heard that this area has been restored, so can you tell us the stories behind? Well, this mangrove protection area belongs to the Dongzhaigang area. And we have restored the mangrove forest, which was devastated, now to their original form. Dongzhaigang has the largest area of the mangrove protection. This protection area was built in 1980, and it is an important area for preserving the mangrove. And the whole place covers an area of over 3 million hectares. It is the largest area for the mangrove protection in China so far, and with the largest biodiversity of the mangrove. So how much varieties? If you want to see the mangrove, you must come to Hainan. So this saying has told that. Well, we have over 37 varieties of mangrove in this area. Well, you can see on both sides of the river, there are piles of mangrove. But I heard there is the fall and the rise of the tide, right? Yes, there are two rises of the tides and two falls of the tides each day. So it is fair to say that the mangroves grow by the seaside. Sometimes the seawater will flood the mangrove. And the mangrove can grow under the seawater. So that's amazing. You can see some smaller trees. Smaller trees were planted this year. And the taller trees behind them grow by themselves. So this is a small wetland. Many groves have fallen down. So we have tried to rescue and save them. And now the tide has fallen. Another method for the preservation is to consolidate the dam base, the base of the mangrove. And that ensures higher survival rate of the mangrove trees. Well, I have a question which can be a question from many people. The mangrove is green. Why is it called red forests in Chinese? Yes, it's a special. That is very interesting. That's because if you rip the skin of the trees off, then the inner skin of the trees will become red due to oxidation. Hence the name of mangrove or red forests in Chinese. Actually, the local name for the mangrove is not red forest, but jiabing in local language. So the mangrove trees are green, but if you rip the skin off, it will become red. The island of this place is called Yebolo Island, or the Wild Pineapples Island. This place is well preserved, so it cannot be affected by the rise and fall of the tides. Now let's get on the dock and take a walk. We know that mangrove trees are quite different from those trees that grow in the farmland. And they are very special in restoring the local ecology. So what role does it play in restoring the oceanic environment? Well, mangrove trees connects the land and ocean. So it is a complicated ecosystem, and it represents a rich biodiversity. The mangrove trees provide a habitat for the ocean animals. And now the tides has risen, so we cannot see the crabs and the seafood. Does this also prove that the mangrove trees protect the ocean ecology? Yes, the mangrove trees can also purify the ocean water and absorb the heavy metals. After the leaves are fallen, the fallen leaves will become food for the seafood and allow the sea animals to survive better. There are villages close by the mangrove trees. So what kind of relationship do they have? Well, the mangrove trees appear only after the villages. Well, the villagers used to earn their lives on the preservation area. But later, the villagers make a life on other means. For example, the ecology tourism. For example, the villagers used to be a fisherman, where now they have developed the tourism and increased their income. So a lot of fishery villages are close by the mangrove trees, and now they have been turned into local-style restaurants to accommodate the tourists. And as more and more tourists come, the local villagers have improved their lives. So again, as said by President Xi, the lush mountains and green water and the lucid waters are invaluable assets of the local people. So what are these trees? Well, these mangrove trees are formed by different kinds of trees, smaller ones and taller ones.